How's it going, everybody? Happy Sunday. LSUODYSSEY.com here. Like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter, on Facebook, Instagram. Do it up now. Subscribe, baby. Subscribe for the best LSU content around. I've never understood why bikes think they're a vehicle to the point that they are like in the middle of the road. It's like, what are you doing? You're putting yourself at risk. What are you doing? You're not completely a vehicle. You don't have an engine to keep up with it or, make up for your dumb mistakes. But either way, LSUOdyssey.com here today because sorry, this is the casual side of what we do on LSUOdyssey.com. This is kind of the chill, relaxed, air out the grievances, air out the madness, air out all the theories, all the talking, all the stuff we're hearing as well, information as well, but also to kind of point you in the direction to go to the site where we've got all of our stuff. That is the hub. That is the main brain. Okay, the mainframe main brain. On LSUOdyssey.com, you will find breaking news, cutting-edge interviews. I mean, this last week, what did we do? Huge exclusive interview with an LSU freshman, Ryan Yates, giving us exclusive information, outrageous information. And then we also did another one with LSU commit 2024 tight end Tavion Galloway. So you've definitely got to hit up over there to the site. And you got to like and subscribe to this video, of course. But what we wanted to make this video about today was, yesterday we got some great news. If you're an LSU fan, you got some great news with Marlon Martinez saying, under no circumstances am I going to be leaving LSU. Yes, I did have some thoughts. Yes, I had some conversations with Brad Davis and Brian Kelly, and it turned it around because, the guy asked him the question, Brian Kelly even was ambiguous as to whether you would stay, which is exactly the exact line, wording, and phrasing we used in our video on the entire Marlon Martinez situation, which I think most of the fan base had forgotten about until 5 days ago when we posted the video about the situation. In the video we didn't say, oh, Marlon Martinez is going to definitely leave, or oh, Marlon Martinez is going to stay. We said, really, this is up in the air. It looks like he's going to be staying because he's been getting a lot of first-team reps, so, probably. But even Kelly said he didn't know. Even Kelly was ambiguous. There's that word. So for sure the guy who asked that question had to be an LSU Odyssey viewer, right? LSU Odyssey reader or viewer, he had to be, right? I mean, how many of these guys are going to throw around the word ambiguous in an interview with a 21-year-old? I don't think very much. But either way, definitive LSU Odyssey subscriber, I guarantee you. But it was fantastic because a lot of people expect, after the last few years, every time there's someone whose name is associated with a transfer, they're going to leave. That's what it is. It's, oh, they're out the door. LSU always lose this guy, and LSU are always losing players, and LSU are always losing this and losing that, and why did LSU let that guy go? And who cares? We didn't need him anyway. And all these crazy narratives about players who leave, and every transfer that comes into the team is going to be so much better than that guy who left, and it just gets a little outrageous when LSU fans start talking about the transfer portal because, let's be real, we have a lot of trauma when it comes to the portal because of the last years of the Orgeron era and that off-season time, that time when it was the transition time between Orgeron and Kelly. We were losing so many people left and right through the portal. It was crazy. And every time you're going to lose people in the portal, at least 3 or 4, that's just what happens. And that's what if you're not, then no one really cares and no one really wants to come after your players. So while it sucks, it is a necessary thing of being successful in today's college football world. You are going to see people transfer. You're going to see those third and fourth string guys go. And so it was great for Marlon Martinez to stay at LSU, and they better keep their end of the bargain with him, where he's basically going to start somewhere. They're just going to find a spot for him, whether it's center or guard, and I guarantee we'll need him. And I love how Marlon Martinez plays, so it would be really, really rough and really, really harsh if this kid stays heading into year 4, barely any playing time, and we kind of screw him by not giving him anything. That would be really bad for LSU recruiting. We'll just put it that way. That story is very widely shared. But so far it looks like Marlon Martinez or Charles Turner will be that center, or if Charles Turner comes back healthy, he's good to go, probably Marlon Martinez at guard. But with Martinez clearing up his future, there's some Tigers I'm wondering about who could leave. Tigers who definitely could leave. Tigers I'm actively worried about. Guys that I'm like, okay, they for sure maybe not have a chance to go start somewhere else, but they think they probably will have a significantly better chance somewhere else than they will at LSU. And so I'm looking for that long list, right? I'm looking for who's gonna be there. It's interesting because the last time we did this, transfer portal cycle was there, and who's gonna leave the transfer portal watch list, we had, guys like Sage Ryan on that list. Marlon Martinez was gonna be on the list again. I think you can say that both of those situations for those players have been figured out and solved. Sage Ryan, it looks like he's going to be a starter this year, as he should be. Former 5-star, looking like he's really coming into his own after a year that was, he had some hits and misses, but really, he actually did some fantastic stuff last year, especially when it comes to the forced fumble recovery. Playmaker, turnover creation column. He did pretty damn good in that, especially in the Alabama game, even though they took away what was actually a brilliant forced fumble. I mean, even though you could take away the recovery on the play, it's kind of strange that they took away the entire forced fumble from Sage Ryan, considering the ball was punched out, it was live, and you can argue Micah Baskerville's knee was out of bounds when that happened, but the fact that they didn't call that a fumble was just very mystifying to me. Another thing, when you're looking at these lists, sometimes, just because someone's name appears on this list doesn't mean I'm saying they're out the door. Doesn't mean I'm saying that they're definitely going to transfer. It's me saying that the information I'm getting, all the things I'm looking at, the signs on the wall, literally reading the damn tea leaves, which is, short for me saying all the stuff I do, all the people I talk to, all the stuff I watch, all the information I take in, distilled into one thing. And that one thing would tell me Garrettnus Meyer is someone to watch for on this list. Not because he's going to transfer, but because if he did, he would have A, no shortage of suitors, and B, it would greatly affect LSU's offense, LSU's quarterback room. Change it overnight. All the safety and security you feel right now when you think about LSU's quarterback room, gone in an instant. Can't have it. We have got to keep Garrettnus Meyer on the roster. Will they be able to? That's really up in the air. I mean, a lot of people are saying it's crazy if Nuss were to transfer. Nuss would be crazy if he transferred. He basically has 2 free years after this season. He would basically have 2 years. He would be stupid to transfer. Well, I'm sorry, but you're kind of stupid for believing that, like, everything on paper always works out that way. You know, Miles Brennan was another guy who had 2 years after Joe Burrow, right? He was going to have 2 years after he waited his turn. That never ended up to be, you know, that never went anywhere. That never turned out to be anything for Miles. And I get that injuries were at the root of it, but also he just wasn't as good as Jaden Daniels or Garrettnus Meyer last year either. So, like, and that hurt his development. The whole thing hurt his development. So when the question is about development, the question should also be, is playing development? Do you need to play constantly to develop correctly? When you're looking at a quarterback like Garrettnus Meyer, yes, he's thrown some balls his first 2.5, 3 years at LSU, but my God, the dude needs to play. So don't just take him for granted and think he's going to be there no matter what, just because there's some potential agreement about 2 years. Coaches make those type of agreements all the time, and then they see a new shiny toy come in, a new freshman, and they say, oh, to hell with that idea. We're going to go with this guy. Coaches play politics all the time. Just because they're LSU coach doesn't mean that they don't. Doesn't mean that they are always honest to these kids. Coaches' jobs. This is a line from a Tiger parent, actually. One of the stars on the team who literally told me that, one of the stars on the team's parents who literally told me this. Coaches' jobs are to lie. Coaches' jobs are to lie. So, what you have, the party's right here, bro. Shut up. And so, what I see is a player who could go and start at a lot of different places. You're even talking Alabama. You know, you could see Nick Saban going in for him with Jalen Milroe as his big option this season. It's like, is that going to be enough for Alabama? Or are they going to want a better quarterback? A real quarterback, really, an actual quarterback, a throwing quarterback. It'll be kind of strange to see what they'll do. But Garrettnus Meyer, you know, don't just take for granted that he's there. LSU have to really be smart about this situation, especially in the coming spring game. But you will be seeing our full transfer watch list coming up on this site in the next coming days. You definitely want to check it out. You definitely got to subscribe to read it. It's not going to be for free. We're going to have our best stuff for our paying subscribers. There's now over 200 of you paying subscribers, and we have to do it for our subscribers. We have to give it our best to the subscribers. So, definitely check it out. And we're going to be putting that up, and we're going to also be putting up a kind of an assessment of where LSU are at right now and what we think about this squad and their capability, their potential. We're about 3/4 done writing it, so check that out as well. Everybody, go Tigers.